Hi all, my name is Erica, aka ECR Horses 1901, and today we're going to chat about my goals within the hobby for the coming year. Better late than never, I guess. Some of these are relatively new, and others I've been talking about since my first year in the hobby video back in October. That's enough lead-in, let's go. Yeah, by the way, I'm over to the side a little bit today because I figured you could use some thing to look at. I put some pictures here. I will be putting pictures here throughout the video. I just felt bad that otherwise you would be staring at me the whole time. So enjoy whatever I end up putting here because at the time I'm recording this, I don't really know. Anyway, one thing which seems to be ever changing is my collecting goals. In my year in review video, I specifically stated that I was going to concentrate on getting the connoisseurs, the Just About Horses subscriber special models, and all of the Breyerfest celebration horses. Well, those plans have been postponed. Because I am going to Are You Kidding Me Live in April, between now and then, my only collecting goals are to fill some of the holes in my show string. Not that I'm necessarily trying to have horses in every OF Breyer class, for example, but I am missing some breeds entirely, like I have no Arabians, no Morgans. So I have a very specific list of models that I would like to buy before that show, just so I can enter a good amount of classes and hopefully have a slightly better chance of taking home some ribbons. Once we get past the horse show though, starting in May, I will turn my attention mainly towards collecting the Just About Horses, and the Breyerfest celebration models. As far as connoisseurs, the majority I've seen come up for sale in various places recently have all been about $1,000. And I still kinda have a hard time wrapping my head around the idea of spending that much on a model horse. So while originally I had hoped to get 2 or 3 this year, I am paring my expectations way back. If I am able to get one of these guys, and probably on time payments, that is good for this year. In a totally different direction, I have recently decided that I want to go all in on Heartlands. You've seen me talk about some of the ones in my collection in recent videos. I know that they are certainly less popular than other types of model horses for a variety of reasons, but I have started to really appreciate them. So although it can be challenging to find them, and especially to find them in good condition, I am going to try. And as far as Frankensteed goes, so again, if you are new to this channel, you should know that Frankensteed is my absolute #1 favorite model, my top grail, all of that. However, I think I'm starting to realize that I may never own a copy. I have seen him come up for sale twice now in recent months, and again, I just struggle with the idea of paying about $4,500 to $5,000 for a model. Now, I am planning to buy another designer high-end purse by the end of the year, and I am not kidding when I say that with the one that I have in mind, it will not cost nearly the amount of money that a Frankensteed would set me back. And a purse is something that I can use every day if I want to. It's very practical, whereas realistically, Frankensteed might get me some paper ribbons. You know, and funny story, the first time he came up a couple of months ago, I'm surprised I didn't get flagged on the model horse transaction board, because at first I was very interested and was like, it's fine, I can just pay $500 every month for like an entire year, who cares? I just won't buy anything else. Anything. But the reality of that is like, do I really want to make that commitment? You know, someone at the last Region 10 show that I attended had an awesome custom Frankenhorse, who honestly was a bit nicer than Frankensteed, and I bet he was not nearly as much money. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the route that I'm eventually going to have to take, unless I happen to come into a ridiculous amount of money magically. So that $5,000 on something frivolous doesn't seem like a lot of money. But as of right now, yeah. On the topic of shows, I have 4 different goals this year. Number 1, competing at Are You Kiddin' Me Live. Again, primarily if you're new to this channel, what you should know is that I have only really been to a handful of live shows to this point, and with one exception, I have been competing in either novice or one time in intermediate level. I accidentally entered an open level show. Last year it was all minis, and I didn't even collect stablemates at that point. So I went there with basically whatever stablemates I had on hand. It was very much not a curated show string. And so I went in having 0 expectations about doing well. As someone who has a hard time tamping down my competitive streak and my just innate desire to win, it was a refreshing change. I expect my experience at Are You Kiddin' Me Live is going to be very much the same. I mean, this is a hugely famous show. There are going to be people competing from all regions, and I wouldn't even be surprised if there's people from a few different countries that come down. So I am going to bring what I consider to be my best horses, but I know I'm going to be up against people who have been showing for a while, who have been collecting for a while, and basically, as long as I get something, as long as I come home with some ribbons, mission accomplished. Number 2, shadowing judges for both breed and collectability if possible. There are a few live shows coming up in my region later this year, and hopefully I will be able to do some shadowing at those. For now, I've been watching videos here on YouTube, and I even paid not a lot of money for a couple of judging tutorials from a well-known person in the hobby, although those were more photo show specific. And I will say that after watching all of these different things, I get it, but I still have questions. Of all the videos I've watched, there was only one person whose picks for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place tended to be close to mine. You know, and then I started going through and looking up some old photo shows on Ponybites and looking through the classes before going over to see who actually placed. And in almost every case, my choices were not on the list. So that was discouraging. However, I did also notice when looking at old NAN class results, because on the NAN pages you see who the 3 judges put in their top 10, and I did notice that there were some classes where each judge's top 10 there was very little overlap. So I guess as long as you can define your reasons for picking each horse, maybe it's okay. As a total aside, I will say that I think I am pickier about documentation than some people. A little bit of a tangent, but I am very sus of people who list Google or Pinterest as their sources, or worse, who do not provide any cited reference for either their information and or their pictures. I can't tell you the number of times I have searched for a breed or a breed and color combination and gotten back pictures of horses that were absolutely not either both or one of those things. When I am doing documentation, I try my best to stick to pictures and information from breed organizations, pictures from actual breeders or breed shows, or from publications like Horse Illustrated. Otherwise, I just feel like it's too much of a gamble. So, rant over, that's not the point of this video, but I just felt like throwing that out there. Speaking of photo shows though, goal number 3 is to enter a few of those this year. We've been doing a lot of work in our basement, and I should have a space available to set up for taking pictures. I don't really have a lot to say about that. I think partly I'm doing it because I won't be entering as many live shows this year due to wanting to shadow, but I would still like to do some kind of showing, so I think this is a good compromise. Finally is my most ambitious goal, at least in this category, and that is to start planning a live show. I've already been exploring some potential venues, which I think is absolutely the first thing, because what I am discovering is that there's not a lot in my area. There's actually one venue which I have been to for something very much not like a model horse show, but that is gorgeous and would be fantastic. But I feel like the cost would probably be astronomical and probably too much for a first show. So that particular venue is going on the far back burner. Realistically, I do have a few other potential spaces that I am keeping in mind. Then of course I need to think about what type of show I would like to do, and I think because it's me, I'm leaning more towards collectability, but that again is also super up in the air, and I need to put a lot more thought into, well, everything. Anyway, planning this, literally just the planning part, is in my 2025 goal. Most likely, whatever show will not happen until, I am guessing, late 2026, maybe not even until 2027, but I will certainly keep you all updated. For other goals, I want to improve this YouTube channel. When I posted my first video, I expected to get maybe, I don't know, 10 views. I know I've mentioned in previous videos that this is not my first attempt at having a YouTube channel. My first one was super niche. 2 niches, in fact, and I was lucky if I got 10 views per video. It was definitely not worth the effort that I was putting into what I was creating at the time. So I kind of expected very much the same thing to happen with this channel, hence why I didn't really put any thought into either my username or my icon or pretty much anything having to do with it. I mean, ECR, those are my initials, horses, that's why we're here, and 1901 is the date of a historical event that I wrote my undergraduate thesis on, so I guess maybe my username's at least a little bit meaningful, but it wasn't. If I had really thought about it, it's not what I would have picked, trust me. So that all changes this year. I cannot tell you what I'm hoping to change my screen name to yet, because it directly has to do with my secret project, which I will mention in a moment. But rest assured that before anything changes, I will let you know, so it won't be a surprise. And speaking of the secret project, if you've been watching my videos regularly, you are probably tired of me beating around the bush on this one. But I swear a general announcement about it is coming soon. In fact, I'm making it a personal goal to have at least a web presence for it, even if it is just a mostly blank webpage, by the end of February. And to continue to give you pretty much 0 hints, before I can really do too much, I still need to talk to somebody I work with. I would like to join a professional organization related to what I intend to do. And I'm even considering getting a certificate, or at the very least taking some online courses, even though I do already have some background regarding what this thing is, both with education and experience-wise, but yeah, I still have to remain a bit tight-lipped about it. It is a lot, and honestly, even if it doesn't get a lot of traction, especially because I'm not the first person in the hobby to attempt something similar, it's just something that I want to do. So to be continued. And I think that's it. My model horse related goals for 2025. If you set hobby goals for this year, let me know in the comments, because I would love to hear about them. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. My next video is going to be about the 2025 Breyerfest models, and you do not want to miss that one. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.